Hi, thank you very much for watching another great episode of Racine and Ruins. And today we have Freddie Frog. We have another guest, which I'll introduce this in a minute. But I just want to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate the views on YouTube, the views on Facebook, the comments, the likes, even the dislikes. To think that my little show, Racine and Ruins, is seen by so many people around the world is absolutely wonderful. Because somebody really should tell the mayor of the city of Racine that he may actually be able to shut down Car 25, but he really can't shut up the people. It can't happen. No, this isn't China with the Great Wall of China that you can flip the on and off switch for the net and stop people from communicating. This is the United States of America, where we have the ability by using media, social media, media like this, radio, podcast, and whole 9 yards, to get our message out there. And I'm doing it, and you guys can too. Anybody can, with a little bit of time, a little bit of equipment, get your stuff out. And you'll see my email up here on the bottom of the screen. If you too would like to get a message out, whatever it might be, contact me via my email. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about different things that you can do to get your message out, whatever it might be. And again, I want to emphasize, as far as I know for the time being, that you can go to Car 25 and become a producer, and they'll teach you how to use all the equipment necessary to create a show like this about a subject that you might want to be it gardening, be it home repair, be it cooking like we have now, be it race cars, be it whatever you want to do. You have the ability to do these things. But act now, because in my opinion, from what I understand, from the meetings I go to, this station may not be around here much longer. So please, please, please as well, call the mayor, call your alderman, and say, keep Car 25 the way it is now. And today's guest is Dave Blank from rural Racine, and he'll be on this in a second. He'll tell you all about that, how it works out, and a bunch of stuff that we have on the Civic Center, because we have budgets, and you can tell a lot of information about how money is, how money is spent. Thank you, and next up will be Dave. Hello, everybody. We have with us today, as I said before, the famous, the good-looking, the all-knowing, all-powerful, future superstar to Racine, Dave Blank from Rural Racine. Dave, let's get into the show right off.
Okay.
What is Rural Racine? Explain that to us.
Rural Racine is formerly the Racine County Convention Visitors Bureau. We handle tourism promotion and development for Racine County. So we oversee trying to bring together people that to come into the county as far as tour groups and leisure travelers, sports events. And then we also work with all the amenities that we have here, whether they be attractions, hotels, restaurants, and try to get everybody together and have them spend money here. So last year they spent, tourist economy was $214 million through Racine County.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And I know that for the background for the audience, because I believe in full disclosure, that Mr. Blank here was a big supporter of It Came from Lake Michigan in a big way, which I again want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for all the other things that you've done in the community, because as I may have my criticisms, as I have them, about other situations, you guys out there in the county are doing a good job.
Well, thank you. We try to bring in things that bring in new money. That's the big thing with tourism, is that this isn't just recirculating money within the community. This is new money coming into the area.
Right, which means that somebody's coming up from Chicago, St. Louis, maybe even down from Madison, and they're doing something here. They're spending their money in the local community, which then spins around and helps other people out there.
Right, and you know the average overnight traveler, according to Wisconsin Department of Tourism, spends $180 per day if they're staying overnight in an area. So you can imagine some of these events where it fills up the hotels. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Oh yeah, trust me, yes, it is a lot of money. And because of that, you do it for the county, that's what got you on the board of the Civic Center, correct?
Yeah, I'm on because I kind of know something about as far as events go and bringing events into the city.
Right, and Rural Racine gets their money, you get your money not from property tax, but from room taxes,
From
correct?
room tax. So it's unlikely that most residents ever paid any dollars toward Real Racine, because it's all funded by room tax, which is generally paid by people from other places.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we may go out of town, stay in the city if I have to paint a room or do whatever, but usually, true, your money comes from people coming into the community to spend money.
Yeah. So hopefully, if it all works out well, it's just a self-sustaining cycle here. As far as we get some money, we turn around, bring in more people, they spend more money, we get more money, so it just works out that way.
And so when they take this money, this pot of money that other people are paying, and you invest it within the community, within the county, because the county is not only Racine, it's Waterford and Burlington and Union Grove, and to do things out there to get more people.
Well, right now we don't work with Burlington.
Oh, no.
Because you have to pay to play to be a member of kind of work this, and right now they have chosen not to send any room tax our way. Waterford does. And so we
Okay.
work with Waterford, we work with Union Grove.
Okay, but Burlington's out of the picture.
As of right now, yeah. We're working with them, but, as of right now, we don't promote Burlington.
Okay, should we get my killer frog to go to Burlington? We do have a frog.
Your
for that.
killer frog? Well,
do.
No, it's more of a negotiating thing. That
Okay.
just is going to take a while.
And you can do it. If not, we have a killer frog that you can use.
A killer frog.
Yeah, we do. We have a show
Okay.
later. I know. Hey, now let's go on the Civic Center because there's been a lot of controversy about the Civic Center. Mm-hmm. First of all, some really basic questions because I have to ask because I simply don't know. And I really appreciate you coming in and talking about this, answering these questions, and I know there's probably have. You were appointed to the board of the Civic Center.
Many years ago I was on, and then several of us were removed for a while, and then we came back on.
Came back on.
So I've been on for most of the last 12 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Do you control the day-to-day activities at the Civic Center, or do you give overall guidance?
No, overall guidance. We have a professional staff there as far as knowing operationally how to run those buildings.
And so what do you do then? They come give you a report and they say, you're doing this okay, you're not doing that okay? I'm
Well, it's
confused.
once a month. We have a board meeting. We look at the financials. We see what we're short in, how we're doing well, what are our upcoming events. Is there any type of thing that we can do to make it easier for them to sell the facility? Are there some upgrades that some of us can, email the mayor's office or city finance department or the purchasing department? Hey, we could really use some of these kind of things. We kind of carry the ball for the Civic Center to the city. As far as I see, you have the capital improvement plan.
I do.
Which, for years, hardly any money was spent on capital
Making
improvements.
up for past time.
Well, you needed that because that's what people that wanted to rent the hall were saying. It's like, oh, it's old, it's dated, the chairs are in bad shape, the tables are in bad shape. Those are kind of not very sexy items, but you need those kind of items for a civic center.
For any center, you need chairs. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's just talk about chairs because you brought them up.
Yep.
And it could be chairs, it could be windows for that matter. So the guy, Rick Edgar is his name, right?
Rick Edgar runs it for Venue Works. Yeah.
So Rick, let's call him Rick because I'll never get his last name twice right. Rick comes to you and he says, "I need chairs," and because we need chairs, and you guys say, "That sounds like a good idea. You need chairs." You let him go and get the chairs that he wants. You don't
No, not
micromanage.
quite that way.
Oh, really?
No, this is actually through the city capital improvement
Okay.
thing, which is part of the budget.
Okay.
And so they budget each year for capital improvement. So those chairs were years in the making as far as it wasn't just, oh, we need chairs, let's get chairs next year. It was a matter of several years before those kind of things happened. The roof project was mentioned
Yeah.
5-10 years ago.
It was.
As far as we, knowing after 25 years that the roof was at its lifetime. So, so the city budgeted for that in the capital improvement fund. So that wasn't something that just happened. It's been there for years.
For years, right. And it's all, again, going back to chairs, there was up to Rick to determine what kind of chairs he wanted, how much he was going to pay per chair. Mm-hmm. He didn't come to you with that information at all.
They worked with city purchasing on those things.
Okay, great. So the person asked you about how much they're spending for different items. Wouldn't it be you and your committee? It would be calling up City Racine and saying, "I don't understand this, I don't understand
It would
that."
be the city purchasing department.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Because again, we don't know. Now, next question about your committee meeting. I take it that's open to the public, as most
Yeah.
meetings
Oh, yeah.
are. If I or other members of the community had questions, do we write you in advance to be able to appear to talk about our questions we have, or do we just show
I
up?
would think you probably would, if you wanted to know something ahead of time, you'd talk to the city clerk's office, because it is an open meeting. It's a
Right.
city commission meeting. It's held in the green room. If you wanted to come and bring up something, you could do that at a meeting.
Okay, then you recommend that we contact the city clerk first
Yeah, and to find out
Put it-
what the time is,
okay.
when the meetings are held.
to communicate with that. But if we wanted to show up to listen, we could be welcome.
Yeah.
Because it is open.
Yes,
And
it
we can
is.
find out what's going on. Now, who else serves on this commission with you?
There's a lot of, there's about 11 or 12 commission members right now.
Wow.
Jim DeMatthew is the chair of the commission. He has a couple different hats, but maybe most people know him from Italian Fest.
Okay.
He also previously ran a financial advising firm in town.
Okay.
I'm on representing the Visitors Bureau. Christine Sarazan is on. Keith Fair, I think, is still on at this time. Christine might be taking that position of alderman. There's always has to be an alderman on each commission. Who else is on there? I know Doug Nicholson's wife is on there. Anna Lagath is on there. She just came on. I can't remember some of the other people's names.
There's a lot of people you'd have to remember, right? And this for references, Doug Nicholson is a bar owner downtown. He owns 2 bars, and the other woman's wife, other woman who was mentioned is the wife of Joey, I believe. He owns several bars.
Joey,
Right, he owns several bars.
Yeah, she just got appointed.
Right, okay. Fascinating.
And these are all city council appointments.
Right, they have to approve. It's
Yeah.
like CAR 25 budget, CAR 25 commission, which I was on for a while, or any other of the wide variety of commissions that we
Civic
have.
commissions,
Wonderful. So then, when we look at the Civic Center, I too would happily say that it's dated in lots of different ways. What are some of the things that we're looking for in the future that you've given guidance on the Civic Center to try to improve on?
Well, we did a day-long strategic planning session in 2009, and we got a lot of people together throughout a day or two, as far as people that had rented the hall, hadn't rented the hall. We got input. We found out what they wanted to do was make it less. They wanted to bring it up to date. They wanted also to make it more neutral, that is coming from more of an event perspective. So the inside, since that time, we have new carpeting. It's more of a neutral type of carpeting. We replaced the teal chairs that you might remember. I still see them outside, but as far as inside the hall, we have now black chairs. We did some stuff as far as the coloring on the walls, the paint on the walls, made it more neutral. And it has really done a great job as far as the weddings and the events. People are saying, okay, they're renting it more often. In fact, rentals are up 300% over the last couple of years from what it used to be. So now we're looking at the outside of the hall, because we still hear it looks 80-ish. And that's the teal and the, I don't know, whatever color you want to call it, the purple. I mean, it kind of is the color of my wedding colors. I was married in '89. I mean,
Wow.
it comes from, it's dated. And people say, if we could, let's make those neutral colors as well. And it would be more sellable then to more groups. And there's a lot of groups right now that are meeting there that have never met there before. So that's helping to knock down the city subsidy.
Now, I've not been to the Civic Center webpage for a while. Is there a calendar of events where I can see what the events coming up are?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so I know.
No, there's going to be stuff on there as far as, I don't know if the private events, they'll probably just say private event.
Right. I mean, if it's
Which are quite a few of them, actually.
Right. Well, it'd be nice to know if it's how many. I mean, I know you said it's up 300%, so I'm sure it's been up 300%. It'd be nice to know what these events are and things I could take my family to.
There's fewer festivals, and that's not just something in Racine. That's a nationwide
Yes.
thing. It's tough for festivals nowadays with decrease in sponsorship, which is what really helped hold them up. That's, you're not seeing as many festivals, so you might not see as many things that you can take your kids to. That doesn't mean it's not being used. It just means that there's fewer things that are open to the public.